This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game.
Coming at you live in the heart of Lincoln, America.
I say, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
On air and online at theticketfm.com. Here are your hosts, Jake Bachhoven and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
This is the Ticket Water Cooler here on 93.7 The Ticket, and it is Friday, our final show of the week, leading into a pivotal week, of course, in NFL football. Of course, NBA basketball kind of getting into its groove. NBA All-Star starters announced the other day. Unfortunately, Rico's Knicks beat my Celtics the other night because Jaylen Brown can't hit free throws.
Julius Randle, not
Julius
Randolph,
Randle stepped up.
Shaquille O'Neal. I just got the Knicks shirt.
Oh, there you go.
There it is. Little Knicks basketball, baby.
I would be worried if the Celtics. I mean, they're on a little bit of a down. They lost Marcus Smart for a while, and they're still on the top of the league. So
RJ Barrett couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat last night, but he came in clutch with a three. Some amazing defense. Emmanuel quickly. They better not trade him.
Did they get rid of Fournier, or is he hurt?
He's just on the bench.
Oh, I love it.
He doesn't play anymore.
Let's trade him back. I want him back.
He doesn't play anymore. Quentin Grimes took his spot.
That's disappointing.
Quentin Grimes, Miles McBride, Jericho Sims. The young kids are getting some play now.
Yeah,
and I'm happy about it. Get the youngins in the game.
Maybe Coach Tibbs just gonna run them to the ground.
Yeah, probably.
Put his veterans back in.
More than likely.
That's probably
exactly. So Julius Randle. Julius Randle looks real good. He looks real good this season.
Yeah.
He's one of 4 players to average over the last couple of games, or average 25 plus points. I think it was like 10 plus rebounds and like 5 plus assists. Him, Jokic, Giannis, and I think Luka. Those are the only 4 players.
What do you think about LeBron being? They updated the 2K rankings. He's the top player again. You buying it?
I mean, I guess. I don't think he is.
You don't think so?
Especially if you're coming to like video game numbers and everything, it should be either Jokic, Luka, or Giannis. Like one of those guys.
Well, it's interesting as we, it's been for years.
I mean, he's been playing really good.
The torch to Kevin Durant all those years.
Well, now he's hurt.
Now it feels like Giannis was kind of maybe taking that, but of course he's not all the way of a complete player, but he's such a mismatch regardless of what he can do. So it's fascinating. I can't wait for the NBA. You don't necessarily have that dynasty that's, the Golden State dynasty that's just kind of like, well, they're going to win and they'll play Cleveland and we'll just play the regular season. This season, you really don't know what's going to happen. So I'm looking forward to that. And we're also looking forward to having Brian Munson on here in a little bit. Of course, it was a big recruiting week for Nebraska. And I just want to know if there's more coming. I mean, there are already over 100 scholarship players. What's the deal with that? How are they going to kind of whittle that down? You figure it's just going to be competition. It's just going to be out there and fighting for a spot. But you wonder too, if you're adding these new guys, are you bringing any of them in for competition, or are those guys coming in with the spot, right? I mean, you would figure that you're replacing current players with your new recruits, but maybe there's a few where it's just like, yeah, sure, you can have a scholarship as long as you win a spot in spring. I don't necessarily see that happening, but they've got to whittle the roster down. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, they'll figure out a way to do it. I mean, they have 17 scholarship wide receivers. They have some teen scholarship defensive backs.
A lot of quarterbacks.
In those rooms, you need a decent amount of bodies, but 17 and whatever teen is for the defensive backs, I don't know exactly. Scholarships seems like too many, but so they'll figure out a way to whittle it down. But a lot of it, the guys that they're bringing in, mostly the transfer guys are going to be for competition. Maybe some of the freshmen at the skill position spots, because again, as I've said before, and I'm going to keep saying it, the offensive and defensive line, if you're coming in as a freshman, I don't see you playing right away. You still got to have like a year or two of strength and conditioning and getting up to the speed, because you're going to be playing with grown men in the trenches there. But at the skill positions, you see freshmen come in and light it up right away. I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr., he didn't play until the bowl game, but then kind of showed out and was like, oh, this guy could have really helped them a lot along the way. And then his true sophomore year, he almost wins the Bolitnikov. So at the skill positions, you'll have a lot of those guys, but yeah, the ones they're bringing in, I see a lot of that for competition. And then maybe you'll see some guys who it's going to be the older guys if they don't put up the not numbers, but just like the effort or whatever the coaches had in mind for them, you might see some of the older guys possibly enter the portal. And I don't want to say anybody's being forced to enter the portal, but it might be one of those where it's like, okay, well, I've been here for so many years. I haven't seen the field. Maybe if I want to see the field, I have to go somewhere else to get some playing time because it doesn't look like I'm going to get that right here. There might be a couple of guys who the coaches have to go up to and say, hey, I understand that you really like being here and you really want to be a Nebraska Cornhusker, but we're in a scholarship crunch right now, and we're gonna have to have you say goodbye or something. I don't know how that conversation goes.
Well, that's why I want to ask Munson too, because I know it used to be basically you were given a scholarship and everybody thought, oh, it'll be here for 4 years, but it was kind of like on a 1-year renewal basis. And then a couple of years ago, they switched that, so now your scholarship's guaranteed for you for 4 years. And I mean, I guess I could, obviously you see the writing on the wall. You're not going to get playing time. You don't want to be there. You go, I understand that, but I mean, what if there's just enough guys that say, that's all right, I'll just ride the bench and go to college, and that's what I want to do, and that's fine.
There's got to be a way where I understand that the Big Ten has it, where you have to honor the scholarship for 4 years, but there has to be a way, especially in a situation like this, where if the person doesn't want to transfer, you have to have a way that you cannot have them on scholarship count against the football team, but maybe their scholarship is honored for the schooling aspect of things, where you're not going to count against us here. You're not going to be on the team, but you can still go to school and your scholarship will still count for that. Well, and I think that's I think me and Nick talked about it a couple of days ago or maybe last week, and that's something that Lincoln Riley was able to do at USC, where at least for a year you're able to have somebody not be on the team, but their scholarship is still honored through the university, so they're still able to go to school for a year. But they're not on the team, so their scholarship doesn't count against you.
It's got to be something there, because I think too, like, I don't know if you could do this if you're Matt Rule without knowing that you can, iron it out at the end. And I think in order to do that, you probably got to get, permission and have a plan with Trev Alberts and everybody up there in the athletic department. So, I mean, it's fascinating, and I want to kind of do a little bit deeper of a look and see how many other schools are in this category. I know Kansas, for instance, they've had trouble for the last 10 years getting to 85, and they're all excited because they finally got to 85. And Nebraska's over there and it might be something that, like, we always talk about Nebraska and they were innovative, in the weight room and in different ways that they kind of got jump starts over the years over some other teams. Mm-hmm. Maybe this is one of those. Maybe this is an example of, taking advantage of the transfer portal, the NIL, all the stuff that Nebraska has a little bit more leeway in taking care of on the back end than other schools do. And so you can provide that level of competition. But I'm not sure. Again, maybe Brian will know a little bit more. We'll ask Brian Munson when he jumps aboard. But there's got to be an ending to this. And usually it's if you're at 92 and you need to cut to 85, okay, you can kind of see things ironing out. But you're over 100. You're talking about cutting 15 guys. And then, I mean, the other part of it too might just be, things that maybe haven't been announced or have to be ironed out. There might be guys that have told the coaching staff or have been communicated with that there's not necessarily a spot for them moving forward. Mm-hmm. And now they're just kind of taking their time to figure that out. So maybe that's kind of at play here too. But
I looked it up. The NCAA Division I rule that addresses the status of an athletic scholarship in the situation that a new coach takes over is in bylaw 15.5.1.7, 8 after departure of head coach. It says a head coach who recruited and provided a scholarship to a Division I athlete if that person is replaced, the new head coach has the right to not invite an athlete back to the team the following year. The athlete may, however, be given the right to stay at the school on scholarship until the athlete graduates with their degree. The benefit of this rule for the athlete is that they continue to receive their scholarship while working to complete their degree. The benefit of the coach is that the athlete's scholarship won't count against the team limit in that sport, so the coach can use that scholarship to recruit another athlete.
Well, that clears it up a little bit.
So he can just decide however many players. It doesn't give like a number. So however many players from the previous coaching staff's roster, not guys that he recruited, guys that were already on the roster, he can decide, and again, it doesn't have a number, so I don't know how many, to just say, hey, we're not going to honor your scholarship, but you can stay here and get your degree. So it's kind of like a forced retirement from football.
Well, and obviously the idea there is, I mean, one is you're honoring your commitment, but the other idea is mostly, hey, you're not getting playing time. You can look around, and if not, this can be your fallback option. I would guess that's kind of the case for a lot of those guys. But, there's some guys that are, might have a few injuries or whatever at that point in their career. They just want to have some friends, whatever, stay at Nebraska and finish it out. And so that's kind of cool to know that as an option. I'm waiting to see how it all plays out. And we'll kind of figure that out over the next couple of months. I can't speak, but over the next couple of months, we'll figure that out. And I'm very interested in that. I'm also interested in this. The Panthers, this was breaking on air with you guys yesterday. Frank Reich hired to be the new Panthers head coach, of course, formerly the Colts coach. So the Panthers going a little bit on offense rather than sticking to the defense with Steve Wilks, but it does end the Steve Wilks era with the Panthers, which is interesting in that it directly ties to Nebraska, that Matt Rule struggled so much with the Panthers. Steve Wilks takes over. By the way, when Matt Rule is let go, a couple of these former, Husker guys that they were bringing in, also not with the Panthers, they went 6-6 down the stretch. Like, they significantly improved
without their star running back and without one of their best receivers.
McCaffrey
traded away two of their better players and finished with a 500 record. Well, not overall, but their final 12 games finished 500.
Which one makes you think Steve Wilks has got to get another job. He also had a 1-year stint with the Cardinals that very rarely you'll see a 1-year stint, but they gave up on it right away.
Shout out to Nathaniel Hackett.
Yeah, another 1-year stint.
Not even a year.
But does that worry you at all? I mean, the NFL thing for Rule, a lot of people just kind of put it on the side. But I think it is worth at least acknowledging that they did get significantly better when Matt Rule and some of the guys that are coming to Nebraska were out of the way. But Matt Rule would argue they were on that pace. They had a tough start, and that, they kind of got it going there. But I mean, I'll tell you this from my point of view, Steve Wilks should be right up there for Coach of the Year for what he's done.
Yeah, I get it. I understand the amount of, what's the word I'm looking for? I understand if you're a little worried seeing what the Panthers did without Matt Rule, but you also have to think Matt Rule, that was his first time being an NFL head coach. I mean, it was third year, second year, whatever year it was. Still, it's a different beast than college, and he was getting his feet under him. As you see in college, it takes him about 3 years to get his team right. And in the NFL, it's different. I mean, you've heard it from Nick Saban. I think somebody was talking about when Nick Saban was talking about when he was in the NFL, the biggest difference between the NFL and college is you don't always get who you want as an assistant, because in the NFL, if you want somebody that's on a different team, that team can just say no. Like, you're not going to interview him, you're not going to take him. This person is going to stay here, or that person, does whatever. Whereas in college, if you want somebody from a collegiate team, they'll have to pay their buyout, or your school can pay their buyout, but you could take them from that team if you really wanted to, if they really wanted to leave that team and go to your team. So there is that aspect of things. But then, maybe they were on pace to get better while he was still there. I don't know, and nobody will ever know because he wasn't there anymore. But, it's just the thing that the NFL and college are very different, and Steve Wilks has been there, done that in the NFL, and as you said, maybe should get another job, maybe should get another look.
Yeah, I'm interested in that. Speaking of Nick Saban looking for assistants, a little bit of news on that today too. Of course, the offensive coordinator position open there as Bill O'Brien makes his way back to the Northeast in New England to be the offensive coordinator back with the Patriots.
Hooray.
A former Alabama offensive coordinator, Josh Gaddis, back out in the playing field as Miami has fired their offensive coordinator.
Interesting.
Josh Gaddis, who was the Broyles Award winner as the nation's top assistant for Michigan in 2021. So just a 1-year stint in Miami after winning the, best assistant coach of the year the previous year. Michigan obviously did fine without him, but he has been at Alabama and kind of has made his moves up there. Tyler Van Dyke preseason, you couldn't hear enough about him. Miami best.
He's going to be great. He's going to be a future number 1 NFL draft pick. He's up for the Heisman, all this stuff, and then not great.
And I'm not saying that they're not going to get it going there in Miami, but that's a little bit maybe of something to look at. Is they were highly touted as putting the best staff together in the offseason, similar to kind of Colorado this offseason. and it went so poorly in year one that they already gave up on the best assistant that they had there for a year. So interesting in many facets here, but you could see probably Josh Gaddis reuniting with Alabama because it's already worked there before.
That'd be very interesting. I mean, would he have to go through the Nick Saban school for coaches who get fired and are now going to Alabama? Would he just hire him as the offensive coordinator? That's the big question there is, does he just get that job? Or, I mean, Nick Saban and Alabama can get whoever they want. Offensive, defensive, they grab whoever they want, and that person will more than likely have success there because of all the talent that's surrounding the Alabama program. As you know, if you were listening to early break earlier, Bill Bush was talking about that. Like that job, the defensive or offensive coordinator job at Alabama is just, you know, up there in one of those top 3 jobs in the nation, whether it's coordinator or head coach. Like that's a great job to have because you know you're going to have talent. You know you're going to be able to work with a bunch of like-minded individuals who are looking forward to, you know, national championship or bust, and a bunch of guys on your team who are looking towards getting to the next level. So playing at that high of a level is nothing new to them. So they'll get whoever. I mean, if Josh Gaddis goes there, I'm sure he'll have another amazing year at Alabama, and they'll be up there in the top 5, top 3, top 2, whatever.
And I'll say this without you know, I guess I'll say it this way, that the Alabama and Nick Saban stranglehold over the SEC looks less than it has been over the last several years, right? Kirby Smart's kind of taken over the crown. Not the best all-time coach in that conference still. Nick Saban's got, he's got a ways to do to catch up to Nick Saban there. But as far as right now, despite the fact that they've split games over the last 2 years, still Georgia's kind of there. Chip Kelly beat him this last year. LSU's got him going. So that Alabama dominance over the SEC.
Brian Kelly.
Brian Kelly. Sorry, not Chip Kelly.
Chip
Kelly's doing all right.
It'd be interesting in the SEC, right?
Yeah, that could be interesting.
Where would he go?
It might take him.
What school would fit best for Chip Kelly?
Tennessee,
probably.
I mean, Josh Heupel's already got
it's
that.
It's kind of the same. Yeah, it's the same style. Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah,
he'd bring a style to wherever.
But I'm saying that Nick Saban has lost his stranglehold of the SEC. Mm-hmm. Also, he'll probably win another title before he's done.
Oh, definitely. So, he's not going to retire until he wins another title. What's he at, 6?
Yeah, I think he might even have 7. I'm trying to think back, but I
think it's 6.
A lot.
Yeah, he'll get to a cool 7, maybe 8 before he decides to retire. He's 71, I believe.
He's got to at least get one.
Yeah, he's a year older than Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick's 71. Pete Carroll and Mac Brown, 72.
Yeah. Pete Carroll always seems like a youthful 72, though.
He is. So does Nick Saban.
His age is catching up a little
Bill Belichick and Mac Brown don't look good. Hey. Pete Carroll and Nick Saban, they look good. They're good for their age.
I'd like how you just throw Mac Brown in there.
No, he's 72.
Yeah, he's old.
He's very old.
But he's got a quarterback. He's always seems got to have a quarterback.
We were looking up coaches' ages earlier. That's why I know these things. Mike Tomlin, 50.
Wow.
He looks like he's 32.
Yeah, he's young. He looks like a young man. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back here on the Ticket Water Cooler, we'll bring on Brian Munson. Also, our sandwiches are here.
Yes.
It's Good Sense Friday. Go out and get yourself some good sense like the cool people here at the Ticket have. We'll be right back on 93.7 The Ticket.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Hey, it's Nicklin Hames from Nebraska Volleyball. I hate wasting time in practice, and I want to help you stop wasting your time when you're looking for an electrician. High Electric has been serving the area for over 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They are experts in everything like remodeling, new additions, hot tub installation, and more. And they take jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at high-electric.com.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 10th and P or at 1501 Center Park Road. A new year means new goals and upgrading, but that doesn't only apply to health and fitness. Mullen Motors can get you into a new vehicle right now and get your 2023 started off the right way. They cleared off their 2022 inventory and have tons of new vehicles to choose from to make sure you get to where you need this year. Out with the old and in new. Stop by Mullen Motors today, just north of 48th and Lake.
No tagline, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batsterats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from the program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 o'clock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Steve's Garage Doors and Services is under new management, but has the same great service as before. If your current garage door seems outdated or isn't working properly, call their new number at 402-480-2840 to schedule service or get a new door ordered. Steve's can repair most types of garage doors and can always point you in the right direction to get the job done. Give Steve's Garage Doors and Services a call today at 402-480-2840. That's 402-480-2840.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Rashawn Jackson, the captain here for The Body Shop. And man, did they hook me up with a great massage recently? The captain has a lot of stress in his life, as many people do. And for 1 hour, it was all relief. At The Body Shop gave me a deep tissue massage that hit every area that I was in pain at. Whether you're looking for a Swedish massage, sports massage, deep tissue, hot stone, aroma, or more, there's only one place to go. The Body Shop at 48th NA. Book an appointment today at thebodyshoplincoln.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
A windy morning, but by this afternoon, those winds will subside. We'll reach a high of 41 with a mix of sun and cloud. Increasing cloud cover tonight with a low of 27. A high of 30 tomorrow, but that will be during the morning hours as a strong cold front blasts through the area, leading to falling temperatures by the afternoon. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back to the Ticket Water Cooler, brought to you by Wingstop on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back here on the Ticket Water Cooler, and it is good since Friday. That's why he can't say Rico. He's finished up his sandwich bite over there. I've got my little good since guy on my cup, holding on to his sandwich. I always like that little logo there. So go out and get your good sense like we do here at 93.7 The Ticket. We also have our nice little Friday tradition we like to keep going is having Brian Munson of Husker Online and On 3 on with us. Brian, how are you doing this Friday?
I'm doing great. About yourself?
Oh, not too bad. I can't complain too much.
I just associate Brian Munson with sandwiches now.
Why? What's up with me and the Sandwich Association? What's up with that?
We talk to you every Friday, and we get good sense every Friday. So Brian Munson sandwiches.
That is very true, and I do. Now I'm getting it. I got you. I hear it.
Yeah, we have more than one reason to get excited on a Friday. And of course, Nebraska fans have been getting excited over this past weekend because there's more recruiting news. I thought we might be done just because of the numbers, but throw the numbers out the window, Matt Rule says, and company. So let's break down these new recruits Nebraska got this past week, starting out with Ismail Smith Flores. What do you have to tell us about him?
Man, I tell you what, I'm going to see both those kids at Arlington Martin tonight at a basketball game. Never played football before his senior year. 6'4" ish. Maybe a little taller, 215 pounds. Really a great athlete. Took an official visit to Iowa in the summer. Took one to Rutgers the week before he went to Nebraska. Obviously, he was recruited at Arlington Martin by Bob Wagner to come out and play football for him his senior year. And now he gets to go play college football for Bob Wagner, who will be his position coach at Nebraska. So it's quite a set of circumstances, but he's a real athletic dude. I mean, look, he's not the polished player that Ben Bramer was. Let's just put that out there. Bramer was a pretty special talent that got overlooked many, many times when it came to that class until, of course, he jumped out and went to Iowa State. But Flores has got amazing potential. He's got incredible athleticism. And it's one of those things, too, it's like where he can go ahead and develop in a great set of circumstances because he's got Eric Gilbert that's coming in. He's got Thomas Fedoni that'll be in the room. He's got the position coach there that obviously he already knows. It's going to be really fun because I let it slip on the board, man. That's my really quiet sleeper on the offensive side of the football. I really, really enjoy watching his film.
Interesting.
Yeah. Also, you mentioned it there briefly, and I kind of want to ask you too with Jeremiah Charles. Are both those guys playing basketball then tonight?
They are. So Flores is kind of coming back from a bit of an injury. He says that he's healthy. Charles is definitely playing. He has no other type of injury issues that are kind of lingering. That's really what put, Charles on the map with Rule was that Coach Wagner brought him out to a Arlington Martin basketball game, let him watch Jeremiah Charles, basically go out there and have 4 dunks. And that was the 4 bunny tweet that everybody saw a week or two ago before Nebraska offered Jeremiah Charles. It's interesting because Nebraska told Charles on his official visit that they liked him for home run balls, and they plan on kind of getting it and taking some shots on earlier downs. And I find that so interesting because there's 5 players that are joining this team that are 10.5 or under 100-meter guys. And when you're telling another guy that I can't find a 100-meter time for online, but he's a triple jumper, he's a high jumper, he's part of a 4x1 team that ran 44 flat. So he's got some speed, but it's like, man, you got Bryce Turner who's a 10-2 guy, you got Malachi Coleman. It's pretty interesting that you want to go ahead and say that, but honestly, I think the deceptive thing about Charles would be if you kind of put him to the field side and there wasn't a lot of overtop coverage, you could go to a fade pretty quick because he's got some hops. Not only does he have speed, he has some hops, and you could just put it up there and let him just kind of go ahead and get it against a smaller field side corner. But yeah, I'm going to watch both those guys tonight, and Charles is a scorer. He's puts in the dunks and stuff like that. And I'm interested in watching both those guys tonight and getting a feel for what athletically what they look like.
Do you think that we'll see guys like Charles? I mean, some of these tracks speed guys, I know they want to get that speed on the team, but for some of them, like him in particular, he doesn't have like a high profile in football. Do you think it's going to take some time to get these guys down football wise? Or do you think, like you're kind of saying, is, once in a while, run them out there, have them run a 9 route and be the fastest guy on the field?
Yeah, well, I think that's really the case. I think that what you got there is, you got some raw athleticism coming into the class. You got some polished guys. Joshua Fleeks is a 10.5 guy, and he was at Baylor, and he's got obviously some D1 experience. Or you got Malachi over there that's that 6'5" dude, and then you kind of come across obviously, and you're gonna you're gonna catch a guy like Lloyd, obviously, that's got some more speed but doesn't really have that height that that Malachi has. I think they're going to look for different ways to create different matchups in personnel and get them, the personnel that they have, expose that secondary and let them go out there and win those one-on-one battles. So I really feel like that's what Nebraska fans should start kind of thinking about a little bit more when it comes to earlier downs, taking some shots, putting themselves in some 50-50 situations, but doing it when there's good circumstances.
Now, Brian, what is the I mean this in the nicest way. What is the difference in the speed recruiting from this staff and the Frost era when they said that they were going to attempt to combine the Oregon speed and the Nebraska power? What exactly is the difference in their recruiting now with the speed? Oh, we lost him.
We lost Brian.
Oh, I think that might be him calling back. Just hit it to the top. Brian, is that you?
Yeah.
We lost you for a second.
That's
Okay,
right.
let me restart the question. Okay, I mean this in a non-disrespectful way. What is the main difference in the speed recruiting between this coaching staff and the Frost coaching staff when they said they wanted to combine the Nebraska power and the Oregon speed, where they were bringing in guys who were fast a lot, and everybody got excited for it, but as we all know, it didn't really pan out. So what exactly is the main difference between this type of speed recruiting for Rule and Company and what Frost and Company did?
Well, I mean, to be fair, Malachi Coleman was on the radar for Scott Frost, so that's kind of one I'd have to kind of exclude anyway about bringing him into the contrast of the two. Bryce Turner didn't have a lot of teams or schools really looking at him at all. I mean, he was really kind of down to track options. I mean, he was really going to go out and run tracking school. So you had basically a thing where Nebraska said, we're going to go out and find the track guy, the guy that's really got that legitimate speed, something that sets him completely and totally apart. And that's what they found in Bryce Turner. I mean, if you look at the other side of the football, honestly, that's what you found in linebacker Fields as well from Oklahoma. I mean, he's a legit track guy as well, a little bit undersized when it comes to playing like a true second level guy, but maybe potentially fits in more as a hybrid, kind of outside linebacker, which playing kind of a JoJo Doman maybe thing, because he can really, really run. So I think what you had there is that you got more legit track time guys as opposed to bring you in, run the 40 looks good, game speed is good. You run this faster than everybody else that's out there on the football field. You're running away from people. I think there's more legitimacy now around, looking for those legit athletic.net track times and getting those guys that have the real numbers.
We're speaking with Brian Munson of On3 Husker Online. And Brian, this kind of comes in from the text line from a texter we like to call Wet Blanket. In the opening presser, the offensive coordinator at Satterfield was talking about, bringing back the fullback and using the tight ends and running the ball, pounding the rock. And then we hear or we see all of these wide receivers. I mean, there's 17 scholarship wide receivers in the room right now. Are we still believing in the run the ball, fullback, power offense type of talk that we were given?
I think I would. I know it's a little bit misleading based on the numbers and the players that have been added. I think that Nebraska fans have to kind of realize the stable of running backs that were still there. When you retain Allen and you retain Grant, you have those top two guys kind of coming back. I think it's a huge lift, obviously, for the class and the roster and what you kind of feel like you're going to get when it comes to one season to the next. Obviously, AJ coming off that surgery off the broken clavicle, and I know, like I said, it's misleading. I think what you're still going to find though is it's got to be predicated on something. There's an identity, and I think we talked about this many times last fall and even the seasons before, where you just didn't see an identity, or you didn't know what that offense really was. There just didn't feel like. It didn't feel like there was a flow. It didn't feel like that you knew what they could do well. And I think there's a lot of times this last season where, Whipple was kind of in that mode of like, look, I can beat this team I'm up against just by throwing it between Casey and Trey Palmer. And we'll go, almost put the Iowa win into that category, right? I mean, it's really one of those deals there where I feel like they had that strength, they overused that strength, and they really abandoned a lot of other things. And I think some of that was because of, you didn't want to use Casey's athleticism because you couldn't afford to get him hurt because there was a drop off between him and other quarterbacks. And I do feel like still, based on what Rule said, in his public interview recently this week, or what he said before, the Nebraska fan typically identifies college football and Nebraska, history with the running back position and running the football. And that's something obviously that he said he's looking forward to doing that. You tell me I got to go there to be successful in Nebraska, I have to run the football and play defense. Count me in. I mean, that's essentially what he said he wants to do. But don't think for a minute, based on the players that you said, and obviously what you're pointing out, that they're not going to take their shots. They're not going to be athletic on the outside, because they're very much going to be athletic on the outside. But what does that do? It sets up the run. It sets up those situations where you can be successful running the football when you do have those playmakers and you do have to have those guys, stay in man and brings and put safeties way back off the football and back those linebackers off the line of scrimmage. That's where you can have success running the football.
And one other commit that we didn't talk about quite yet, Demetrius Bell, of course, out of Tennessee, another looking to be a wide receiver. What type of wide receiver are they getting in him?
Another wide receiver. Not a tall guy, a real productive guy, a lot of polish, 6 foot tall, not a burner, consistent guy that's got great hands, that can make some plays. He had so many different impacts on his team this last season. He had attempts and completions as a quarterback. He obviously was receiving the football as a wide receiver. He had rushes as a running back. He had some impact as a punt returner and a kick returner for his team as well. He's just a little bit of doing everything. And I think as you can kind of dial that back and get a guy that's going to be focused really on that one area, I think you've really found that true kind of possession go-to guy that you can kind of, really leverage, and I think it's one of those things that when you talk about like Kemp and what Nebraska got with him and being that number one receiver, I think people are kind of figuring in that's going to be, that's me kind of the guy that I would watch Bell, coming up under a guy like Kemp and seeing how he's doing stuff. I would really want him to pay close attention essentially to how basically, Kemp is doing his business and try to follow in his footsteps.
And the other recruit that they've gotten since that we've talked to you is the transfer, I believe, Jacob Hood. I believe that was this past week. Everything seems to go by in a blur these days. But Jacob Hood, of course, the big transfer out of Georgia. I guess couple questions come up there. Maybe why transfer from Georgia? Also, is he the answer at tackle, or is he still kind of too young to say that?
I think it's a little bit too early to say. I think that people that are penciling, Jacob Hood in as like the right tackle. It's not the same scenario that we were talking about, a couple 3 weeks ago with Walter Rouse. Mm-hmm. Walter Rouse had that kind of experience out at Stanford, playing in the Pac-12. Had the film, showed that he could go out there and do it. And you felt like, okay, I'm bringing in a veteran left tackle for one season as a grad transfer versus the scenario in which you get with Hood, and that is, no film, coming off of an injury or even potentially a surgery or two, and you wanted to come in there and you wanted to play a role, obviously, but it's still one of those things that's like he is going to be at just about the same area as everybody else. I wouldn't give him much of advantage, if any, coming into the spring, other than the fact that he does have massive size. He has seen some really good competition. He knows what the work ethic is all about when it comes to being, playing at Georgia. He's seen it now for a couple of seasons. So those are maybe the only two advantages I would really give to him. But I just don't feel like that people can go out there and just say that that's your right tackle. I think that's where the hope is into. I just don't feel like necessarily that it's a guarantee yet. We're going to have to see on that.
All right, one final question for you. We've already taken up your time, but there's always a lot of questions in recruiting. I guess the biggest question here is Nebraska done? And if they are, if they aren't, what happens around the corner now that they're over 100 scholarships?
No, Nebraska's not done. They've got more stuff going on. So, obviously there's we covered the 3 high school guys that have already jumped in. There was actually a 4th high school guy that visited with them, with Sua Lafoto that comes out of Bosco Prep Academy out there in Bellflower, California. He's a guy that I think, Nebraska is going to get him on signing day. He's taking another official visit this weekend. He's more of an interior defensive lineman. We're getting kind of word too as well that there could be another defensive back potentially coming in, but another speed guy. I mean, not really that hard to see that he's a 200-meter champion. So got some confirming to do when it comes to his official visit. But it would make more sense just adding additional athleticism and size. He's a 6'2", 175-pound guy. So we'll see what else. But I think that Nebraska is really slowing down here. This could be a single official visitor. You could have a walk-on commitment in Bo Sparks. It's actually originally from Lincoln, went to Lincoln Southwest up to his sophomore year. Great speed, really productive down there at Jefferson High School in El Paso, Texas the last couple of years.
Great stuff. As always, thanks to you once again, Brian, for updating us on the Nebraska recruiting world.
Sounds good, buddy. We'll talk to you guys next week.
All right, sounds good. There he goes, Brian Munson of Husker Online and On3. And always informative, always entertaining, and always something to look forward to, as well as our good sense on Fridays. So let's take a quick break. We'll invite Nick in for the crossover here. Happy hour coming up just around the corner. We'll do that next year on the Ticket Water Cooler, 93.7 The Ticket. Jake Bakoven here. Let me tell you about my friends at Solarion. I've been working with them as a participant in clinical trials for many years. They help develop new pharmaceutical products, and I get to be a part of it. All I do is check the website for possible studies that might apply to me, see if they fit into my schedule, and if I'm eligible for participation within the parameters laid out, I can make up to $500 per day in a study and feel confident in the staff and research done by Solarion to be a willing participant. Last year, more than 800 people completed a study in Lincoln, and I was one of them and will continue to be. If you're curious about how to earn up to $500 per day by participating in a research study at Solarion, and with the several options for scheduling, check them out at helpresearch.com/new or call them at 866-213-2965. Once again, that's Solarion at 866-213-2965 or at helpresearch.com/new.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
You were almost home when suddenly you find yourself battling off the germs that cause sore throats. Luckily, you've been training for this moment by staying up to date on vaccinations, washing your hands, disinfecting surfaces at home, and avoiding touching your face. And thanks to the great tips at catchgoodhealth.org, you're on your way to being the very best at staying well. Don't let the Pikachu damage your health this cold and flu season. Instead, start your training today at catchgoodhealth.org.
If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, listen up. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Vershawn Jackson, the captain here for The Body Shop. And man, did they hook me up with a great massage recently. The captain has a lot of stress in his life, as many people do. And for 1 hour, it was all relieved. The team at The Body Shop gave me a deep tissue massage that hit every area that I was in pain at. Whether you're looking for a Swedish massage, sports massage, deep tissue, hot stone, aroma, or more, there's only one place to go. The Body Shop at 48th NA. Book an appointment today at thebodyshoplincoln.com.
Hi, this is Kurt, your shop manager at A1 Automotive here in downtown Lincoln. My promise to you is this: you won't find another automotive repair facility that genuinely cares about you and your vehicle. Our service is outstanding and our customer service is better. Please give me a call for all your automotive repair questions and needs. Call me at 402-477-4660. We were built on small town values, and that shows in how we treat others. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Shopping for insurance can be a tedious and frustrating task, but the agents at Brokers Insurance Agency will do the work for you. They have partnered with over 20 of the best insurance carriers in the nation, which allows them to do the shopping all for you. Whether you're looking for business insurance or employee benefits for your company, or you're looking to save money on your home and auto insurance, Brokers Insurance Agency has the agents and solutions to help meet your goals. Call 402-420-5353 or email staff@brokersinsurancenE.com.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful. I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman. Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back in the future. Sutter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SutterHeyman.com.
Are you looking for a solid, stable career in assembly, CNC machining, or injection molding? We got you covered. Hi, Bob Williams, HR Director for Garner Industries, a world-class manufacturer with a 70-year history right here in Lincoln. And I just listed some great career opportunities that you can find by logging into GarnerIndustries.com. If you want top pay, excellent benefits, flexible work hours, and the opportunity to work in a clean, modern, air-conditioned facility with great people, contact me today by applying online at GarnerIndustries.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Back to the Ticket Water Cooler, brought to you by Wingstop on 93 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here on the Ticket Water Cooler, the final segment of the Ticket Water Cooler of the week. That's kind of sad, but actually it's great because the weekend is here, and that's awesome for the NFL. Playoffs coming up. Also, I saw this, and I want to get your guys' thoughts on this. McDonald's is testing a new strawless lid. Is that better than paper straws? Would you be fine if you went to McDonald's and they didn't give you a straw? I mean, it's like a sippy cup type of lid. You can just directly to the mouth.
I don't know. I don't really care, but it's gonna be kind of weird. It'll be like a little learning experiment, whatever. I don't know.
Seems like you can spill easier.
Yeah, it's a
that
little
way.
chilly in here.
Yeah, I know. I turned the air down.
It's okay.
Or I didn't turn it off, but I
right.
turned it down.
And I'm decked out I'm in a sweatsuit.
You're ready
so.
for it. Yeah. You big straw guy?
No.
I care about the turtles.
Yeah, you care more about the turtles.
I will say I have a lot of this is gonna make me sound like the opposite of an environmentalist.
Yeah.
I hate those cardboard straws.
Cardboard straws suck.
Like I
Yeah. What are those,
I hate
paper?
those. Yeah, the
Cardboard?
paper.
Yeah.
Paper
I'll get
ones.
a metal straw at her.
Those are bad too. I don't like those.
My
either.
sisters have metal straws. My younger sisters. My other sisters don't care about they care about the environment. That's a lie.
Yeah.
My younger sisters really care about the environment. They have metal straws. They got me a pack of metal straws for Christmas once. I don't know where they're at.
To me, it's just odd.
I don't even know if I know what metal straw are.
They're just straws that are metal.
They're pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
they have like that, and they have a little like a rubber part on the end of it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it just doesn't. I don't know. To me, I'm pretty picky with my drinks. Like, I'm not a big fan of soda in a can because I can kind of taste the can. And the same thing with a metal.
I feel
straw.
like you have very sensitive taste.
I agree.
It tastes like metal. I don't want
some
metal.
Forks have like a metal taste to it or a metallic taste.
You guys have very sensitive
I'm
taste
with you,
buds.
Bach. I'm with you.
You guys obviously don't see that you stuff forks.
I'm talking about soda.
I'm talking
Myself,
about
yeah.
fork. I mean, so I had these.
don't taste the
I
fork.
ate a Caesar salad last night.
Oh yeah, if you accidentally salad, I could see it.
I
It
made
does
a Caesar
happen.
salad last
Yeah.
night, and I took a bite, and I washed that fork, and got a new one, and there was no metallic taste.
Maybe
It
you just have
happened
bad
last night.
forks.
Hey, don't talk about my cutlery.
You have bad cutlery.
No,
Get better cutlery.
The cutlery is just fine.
I'm sorry, Nick. Bad cutlery.
I ways that the stuff hurts the environment. I don't get why straws is the big one that we're going after. I like straws. I like normal straws.
I wonder how many.
Well, there's too many plastic straws in the ocean.
Well, who's
There's
throwing them all in the
There's
ocean?
a lot of stuff in
Because
the
you're
ocean.
throwing them in the trash, and then the trash gets dumped wherever, and then it somehow gets into a river or something, and then it ends up in the ocean, and then a turtle inhales it, and then the turtle has a straw in its nose. Turtle can't breathe. Turtle dies.
I feel bad for those
Jeez,
turtles.
I do feel bad for like when you see the commercials of the turtle with like the Gatorade holders around.
Yeah. Like fish around with like the little plastic bottle things on them, like the I don't know what they're called. Little circle things. I cut mine.
Well, at least we
From a
don't
good person.
the
little plastic things
Oh,
that
yeah,
like
yeah.
the 6-pack of bottles. Those like the plastic rings. I cut those.
I don't buy the 6-packs.
I don't either.
Honestly, I don't buy the 6-packs. If I buy Gatorade or if I buy like drinks in a case, I usually will go to like Costco or Sam's and get the big ones that are just in the cardboard box that aren't, because I also hate trying to tear them off.
I'm just
the
gonna start
plastic
burning all my
rings.
trash.
City.
That's where I live.
How am I supposed to
What-
burn
well,
trash?
how else do I-
Honestly,
where else do I
like,
burn my trash?
Your backyard doesn't back up to any houses, right?
No,
So that could
I don't
work.
know who owns it though.
So that could work. Just keep it nice and organized.
Yeah, I'll just dig a hole.
Nice little campfire. Just throw it in there.
No,
Like,
I'll just dig a hole.
Oh, a hole.
It'll be like a hole.
Yeah.
Where I burn all my
Start a
trash.
fire.
Just make it into compost.
Yeah.
I don't think you can make plastic into
You can't, not
compost.
plastic necessarily, but like
That's what I'm talking
banana
about. I'm gonna
peels and
burn the
stuff,
plastic. Well, of course I'll do that. I could do that.
I
am
think you're
curious-
supposed to burn the plastic because then you'll inhale it.
Well, I won't.
I am curious how many.
I would rather I get sick than it have a
Yeah, it's up to you, I guess.
I do wonder how many people make compost.
Hmm.
Like if you make compost, text us.
Yeah.
Rico, you're the reason fire departments don't go out of business. I'm very safe with my fires. All right, I'm an Eagle Scout. I know what I'm doing.
Are you really?
I am.
How long did you stay in
I
the
didn't know
Scouts
that.
then?
How long did I stay in the Scouts?
Yeah.
I was in the Scouts from
Eagles is the last one.
Yeah, it's the very last. It's
Yeah.
the very last thing. It's the highest honor
Highest
that can be
honor.
bestowed upon thee.
Yeah.
I was there until I was 17.
I used to be a Boy Scout. Then I lost at the Derby race or whatever it's called with the car.
Yeah, you
and
gave
I was
up?
like, I'm done.
I won one year.
I don't want to be here.
And I got like second place every other year.
There's always somebody that cheats. And has
Yeah,
much
no, they
away
get cut.
from-
You got them. We got them before
Yeah.
we put them up there. So there's a lot of people that are just right at the limit.
I think I'm with you, Nick. I think we did that, and once we started other stuff, I was like, "Why racing cars again?" I kind of like that.
Yeah,
The camping was fun.
Somebody on the text line
depends how
says,
much you like camping.
I compost horse poop, chicken poop, and all of our table scraps.
There you go. Perfect.
I don't know if I have the nose for that.
I grew up in South Omaha. I'll be fine.
Is it smell in South Omaha?
I grew up real close to the. Yeah,
say you're gonna
it
have to
does.
let us know.
It actually it doesn't anymore. I grew up real
That's
close to the meat packing plant, so you smelled burning hair, burning meat, blood, all that fun
Okay,
stuff.
okay, that's not good.
No, it smelled terrible. My aunt used to work there, and she would come home smelling like it. Smelled terrible, but then you get used to it after a while, and then it just reminded me of home.
Then it smells like home.
Yeah, then it smelled like home. So I would like drive home, and it still smelled like that when I was in college. So I drive home from Kearney, and I just be like, just a big old inhale, like smells like home.
Home sweet home.
It's disgusting, but I love it.
That is weird. I don't like that. I don't like.
But now it doesn't smell like that anymore, and I'm actually sad. Like I go back and it doesn't smell bad, and I'm like, this sucks.
Are
man.
you guys able to like? Now this might just be my problem, my issue. I cannot go into animal enclosures at like the Henry Dorley Zoo, where like the giraffes and elephants are.
Oh, because of the smell?
Yeah, I can't do it.
Yeah,
I
you have
can't-
a very sensitive.
I'm very like, and I can't control it. I think it's a lot of a mental block.
Those ones
It
aren't
is.
bad, but I think the barns, like if you go to like the state fair and there's
Oh,
like a
they're
bunch of goats
fine.
and stuff,
Yeah,
I
like-
can't do that.
Like,
one.
and that's the thing is,
So
I,
you don't go to the Kingdom of the Night under the Desert Dome. Have you been to that one yet?
Yes, I have. That's fine.
But the bats,
I was fine on that.
You're okay with the bats? The bats smell terrible.
See, no, I was fine with the bats.
It's the giraffes.
It was the giraffes. I opened the door to the giraffe thing.
Really?
And I sniffed it just a barely. I got the touch of all the giraffe poop.
Yeah. I don't think giraffe poop smells that bad.
I have to like take a deep breath here.
You are
It's that
fine.
bad. No, that's the thing is I have nothing against animals. I wish I could. Like I go to state fairs, I go to all these small town fairs, have no issues.
Can't go in the barn though.
The enclosures are man.
Look, I go.
That's to see Tyler bleeping city slickers.
Hey, I go.
That's
Well,
not
actually,
the case.
I'm going up to the farm this weekend. Actually,
And I
doesn't smell that bad because the cows aren't that
Well,
close.
that's the thing,
But
is, like, I have-
in the summer when it's hot and the wind's blowing, you get a nice whiff. It's pretty bad, but it's not. It smells as Rachel has told me. It smells like money.
like and that's the thing is like I don't have nothing against farms. I love deer hunting. I love going to all that stuff. Love being around cattle because that doesn't bother me when it's open. It does not bother me at all. It's the enclosures, man. When it's like because you feel like you're just trapped.
You ever driven past a pig farm?
Yeah, that's
those
rough.
look.
Yeah, those are rough.
I don't care how much you work there, how much you use. Those are terrible. Pigs are
Pigs are
smell
bad.
terrible.
Pigs are bad.
They smell terrible.
Yeah, which, I mean, they just need to. I don't know. You guys know where I stand on bacon. So
I got yeah, he eats turkey bacon. I got bacon on my sandwich.
I do. Turkey bacon's way better than
Yeah, he
pork
thinks he's
bacon.
some kind of healthy person.
No,
It's not.
that's
It's not
it at
better.
all.
It's not better.
It is much better.
It's
Less
it's
greasy,
not.
easier to cook.
The grease
easier
is
to
where the
clean up.
flavor is.
See, I'm not a big bacon person either way. Maybe I'll try this turkey bacon and see if it's better.
I'm telling you, no. I eat turkey sausage.
Oh, okay.
That's worse.
I don't usually eat bacon.
Just in general, yeah. I'm
Yeah,
not a big
I
bacon
don't usually
guy.
eat bacon.
You guys just
It's not that I have anything against it.
Thank you, unnamed texter. This
like
is riveting
BLTs.
sports radio.
Yeah.
BLTs are delicious. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
That,
So
that
I
was
mean,
my
bacon. that's the one
I
thing.
bet somebody on the Husker football team eats a BLT prior to every game.
There's your sports.
There's our sports.
Boom.
How about the or as we transition from food to sports? How about the Duquesne guy? It ended up being a prank. The Duquesne guy, the Uber Eats guy that showed up on the court.
Oh yeah,
I was very disappointed. by
I
that.
was sad, and then Nick told me, he goes, he has a microphone, right? And I go, what? And I looked at it closer. He has like a little clip-on microphone.
Yeah.
I was like, dang it, man!
Just the students pulling a prank.
How dare you?
Which is fair too, because you think, what an idiot! Who would be so stupid to walk in the middle of a game?
And then he just keeps looking at people. You Uber Eats? Did you get Uber Eats?
Well, hey, let's be honest though, guys. It's a great, and Uber Eats would be smart to use this. It's a great marketing strategy for Uber Eats. Your food, anytime, anywhere, any day.
Yeah.
They should. Oh my
it'd be
god!
so smart.
Could you imagine if that dude that was like had the ball, like if he would have shot the three, turned and like grabbed the drink and just like
That's what I'm saying. Like,
and just right back down the cup.
It would
Just
be
add a chicken nugget.
It would be it's a perfect marketing opportunity. You're at a lower level basketball game. You're bored. You want some food.
Let's do it.
Eat some Uber Eats. And the Uber Eats driver can just go in anywhere.
You think
You somehow get the other team in on it, just like, all right, this corner three at this time in the game, he's gonna take the three. Uber Eats guy's gonna be right there. He's gonna eat a nugget and he's gonna run back down.
You think Duquesne fans go to their games going, we're at a lower level basketball game.
Well, I mean, come on. I mean, let's be honest.
Look, you ain't Kentucky.
Yeah, you just gotta know who you are.
You ain't UCLA.
One other thing I wanted to get to you guys is that I thought was interesting. Stetson Bennett not going to prepare in the Senior Bowl. Smart?
Too old.
Too old.
He's a senior citizen, is what he is.
Yeah, I bet he would apply for, or he would be
AARP.
eligible for a jersey discount.
AARP,
senior
you know,
jersey
all that good stuff.
You guys see Mel Kiper said he's probably a third-round pick.
A third-round pick and a third on the bench.
Who knows?
Nah, come on. Now that Nate's not here,
Shout out to Brock Purdy.
Now that Nate's not here, we can say it. Stetson Bennett is a good quarterback.
He is a good college quarterback. He is not. I don't care what anybody's. He is not one of the greatest college quarterbacks of all time. Stop it.
He's
Stop
not
it.
statistically, but
I would still take C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young over him. Will Levis? I don't know. Will Levis continuing to get top 5 pick?
That is bothering me.
Projections are just. I don't like it. Maybe they must see something. I don't know. I look at him as a Zach Wilson.
Didn't Will Levis lose a game to Luke McCaffrey?
He did.
That's enough said.
Hey, Rice.
Will Levis was the backup at Penn State. They brought him in. All he did was run.
Yeah, Rice,
Ben Stille.
the home of JT Daniels.
Is he there now?
Yeah,
Yes.
he's there.
Oh, good for JT.
They posted a TikTok.
Weird
JT
transfer.
and Luke. Let's go.
All right, that'll wrap it up for the water cooler. Happy hour coming up next.
Ever think of having a career in plumbing or